morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have a hot chocolate with me. I have your beautiful smiles. And welcome to day 36 of Sonja's Adventures. My name is Sonja. I am a LARPer from Munich in Germany. And I have a group called the Braker Keltoi, which contains about 50 people, and I'm the High Queen of the Braker Keltoi, so I usually lead about 50 people. I also organize a camp on the conquest of Mythodea, which is the biggest LARP in the world with about 10,000 people. And this camp is called the Blood Pact and has about 350 wild and super funny and cool people, so I also organize that. Now today I would love to talk about 3 tips on leading in LARP. And before I start, as usually, I need to check if the technical side is working. I have tried to put my autofocus kind of to rest, but I'm not sure if it's working correctly, so bear with me on that. I'm also going to check on my laptop to my left, so if I'm looking on my left side, that's only because I'm checking your comments. And it would be beautiful if you guys could press the heart emoji if you can hear me and see me properly, so I can kind of work that out. Now I'm quickly going to check my laptop if everything works, and you guys can press the heart emoji if you can hear me. That would be amazing. Press the heart emoji, guys. Now, as we are going to... No autofocus. Is that true? And no autofocus. Oh my God. That would be amazing. Anyhow, as today we are going to talk about leading, I would love if you comment below on your experiences with the leading in LARP. Do you have a leading role? Do you have a group that you're leading? Outtime maybe? And or do you usually play a servant character? That would be really cool if you just comment below if you're like a leading experience in leading. That's what I wanted to say. Experience in leading. Let me quickly check my laptop while you're commenting below, and I'll be right back. All right, checking my page and seeing if you guys can listen and see me. I have 28 viewers. That's cool, guys, even though I was a bit late. All right, let's check if it works. Okay, cool. All right. Clicking to see you guys. Okay, quickly before I start, somebody asked me if I make weapons that I sell. Oh, certainly not, and you wouldn't like them if I did them, because I'm really bad in crafting. I'm really all for buying things because I'm really bad in crafting. Everybody can tell you. So, guys, I will definitely answer your questions later. We have a bit of time for that. But first up, I would love to talk to you about the 3 tips I have for leadership in LARP. As I said, I play the High Queen of a group called Braker Keltoi. We're probably one of the biggest groups in Germany, and that means I lead up to 50 people. Now, how this works in our clan is that once a year we vote for the people who should represent us, and that way you definitely see whom people imagine to be good leaders and whom they trust. And that, my guys, is the first tip that I have for you. No matter the system, even if live action roleplay, a lot of times you have a lot of hierarchy, it doesn't matter, because people only follow whom they trust, whom they respect, and whom they're loyal to. And of course, it might be very obvious, but you can only be a leader if you have people that follow you. It's really that simple. If you have nobody that follows you, then you're not a leader. So this is interesting, because a lot of times people tend to forget that in LARP. They think, well, I have a title, I am a king, so people have to follow me. But even if a lot of times people, of course, like to play with that hierarchy, they don't follow it especially in situations that get hectic, you know? Like, if it's super hectic, then they tend to look for the people that they respect and that they're loyal to. So my tip would be, the first question is, how can you gain the respect and loyalty of your people? By the way, that doesn't mean that they need to like you. In fact, there's a lot of leaders that in LARP play perfect villains, and people are super loyal because they represent something to them, like strength, like guidance, like whatever it is, but it's their kind of, what they kind of want, and they follow. So that's the first question I would ask. What behavior do you have to have for people to follow you? It's very, very important, and people oftentimes forget. I had a lot of experiences where people kind of are on the field and they have a title and they scream around and nobody listens to them. It's really interesting. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that, but there's definitely a lot of people who just don't exude that kind of respect to their people, and people just don't follow. It's really that simple. They don't follow. All right, so that'd be my first tip. That also means, guys, that titles don't matter when it comes to leadership, which also means that if you don't have a title yet, but you would really like to lead, all you have to do is to behave like a leader to eventually become a leader, because people don't care about the title. All right, then my second tip. Second tip goes more into detail on that. If your behavior is the most important thing, then how do you have to behave for people to respect you and to be loyal to you? Now, of course, there's a lot of different ways, and that's only my personal perspective on that. But what I have found is an experience, and ladies, if you're listening, listen closely, because that is a special tip for the ladies as well. It's one thing, really basic tip. Be the calmest person in the room. People look for leaders who are calm, who know what they want to do, and who know what that you should do, and then they follow you. And the only way you can exude that is by being the calmest person in the room. That means when everybody's running around like headless chicken, you need the one to be like, okay, guys, you do this, you do this. And even if you have no clue about what to actually do, and you have no clue on how to solve the problem, you have to show people that you know the way, even if you don't. That means, very in detail, speak calm, have a direct eye contact to the people you're talking to, and have a very deep voice. Speak deeper than you would usually do it. Now, why is that a very good tip for the women? And I have learned that by myself, by just looking at guys that I thought were good leaders and just mirroring them, is we girls tend to show our emotions when things get hectic. And how we do that is we run around and we're like, okay, now guys, you have to do this and you have to do that. And nobody likes to listen to that. Also, we tend to go up with our voices. So we're like this. That's why a lot of times we as women get adjectives like, oh my God, she's so annoying with her voice. That squirky voice is annoying me. I don't like to listen to her. It's really bad. It's just a disadvantage that we have naturally. But here's the simple tip. Try when everybody around you gets really hectic and you're like, and people are like, we need a solution now. Whoa. Tend to calm down, get slow. That's where you get the attention. Talk more calm, talk deeper. And that is a very basic tip that helped me so much in so many different situations to get attention from people, to make people follow my words. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to know all the answers. In fact, now that you are so calm, people tend to be calmer as well, and they start to think again. And then you can use their brains as well to find a solution. But you have to be the person who mirrors that, who projects that on everybody else. So that's my second tip. be the calmest person in the room. Now, my third tip kind of is on the negative sides of leading. I think a lot of people who have never led in their life think that, anyhow, a lot of people always think that leading is something cool. Having a leading position makes them more powerful, so it makes them cooler, so they want to lead. And they don't ask themselves if they're actually able to lead. Now, I'm not saying you can't learn it, because I definitely learned it and I'm still learning. But don't just lead because you want to feel powerful, because you have to know that leading is a lot of work. It's a lot of responsibility. You have to be the first there and the last to go. You need people to follow you. You need when do you need a leader, right? It's not when everything's shiny. It's when shit hits the fan. It's when you need a leader, somebody who solves problems. So your main issues that you are going to deal with are not nice ones. It's the times where 300 people died because of your clan. Or it's the times where they're going to start a war because somebody in your group said something. It's those times when you are the person who needs to solve a problem. So really think about why you want to lead. Even just having the experience and for your out-time life is a good reason. But definitely prepare yourself that you're going to have a lot of work and responsibility. It's so much easier to just follow somebody's words. Really, it's so much easier. You're just going to sit there and be like, and then you can even blame them, you know? You can blame them, oh, it didn't work out because he or she didn't do it well. Perfect. No problem. But if you're actually leading, then there's a lot of work. Now, why do I tell you that? It's because there is a threat with that kind of work, that you're going to be super stressed. If you're like, and I just recently talked with a friend of mine about this, who might listen to this as well. It's when you tend to do everything yourself and you don't have a team or you don't delegate, then there's a huge threat that you're going to be super stressed. And not only your character is going to be super stressed, but of course you as a person are going to be super stressed as well. Now, last year on the Conquest of Mythodea, when I was organizing the camp for 350 people, I made that mistake. I didn't delegate. I didn't ask people for help. I tried to do everything myself, sometimes because I thought I could do it faster before I explained it, or sometimes because I thought, well, I don't want to get on their nerves. However, I did everything myself, and what that led to was like a burnout in LARP. I didn't like to play anymore. I didn't have the time or the mental capacity for LARP anymore, so I refused to do it anymore. I just didn't like it. I went home after so much work, and I wasn't satisfied. I didn't have fun. And if there's one thing that we should definitely have in LARP, then it's fun. So really think about why you are leading and surround yourself with a team that respects you and that is loyal to you, also outtime, and who help you and that you can delegate to. And do delegate. Don't do everything yourself, because there is going to be that moment where you can't do it anymore. It's too much. So that'd be my third tip. Delegate and get a team to delegate, because really leading is stressful. So that were my 3 tips on leading in LARP. The first tip is titles don't matter, is ask yourself, how does my behavior have to be that people respect me and are loyal to me? That's the first question to ask. What do I have to do that people respect me and are loyal to me? Then the second tip I have is be the calmest person in the room. And the third tip would be prepared that leadership is hard work, and surround yourself with people that you can actually delegate to. All right, now I'm going to have a quick look at all the comments. I see so many comments here. If you guys have questions, now is the time to write them down, and I'm going to answer about 3 or 4. I'm trying my best. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, somebody's saying that most of the good leaders he knows did never ask for the position. That is definitely true. It's just the way you act. If you, for example, I'm always comparing that to, imagine this. If you have never shown your group that you can play the drums, then how is ever anybody going to come to that idea and suggest you as the main drummer of your band? Like, why? You've never drummed, never played the drum in front of them. They don't know that you have the capability to do so. And you never told them. So how the hell would ever anybody say, I bet Sonia is going to be a good drummer? It's the same with leading. If you've never shown people that you can take the responsibility, if you have never shown them that you can be calm in hectic situations, if you've never shown them your strength, then how would they ever consider you as a leader? It doesn't work. All right, let me quickly show, have a look. Oh, I see somebody from Sweden. Hey, Daniel. Daniel from Sweden. He arranges LARPs here in Sweden and he agrees, which is really cool. Yes, Alyssa says a higher voice incites more panic and concern, a low voice more calm and you'll be more clear. Definitely what I wanted to say. All right. Fear, you forgot the fear? Do you mean Bine? Oh, it's going the other way around. Oh, there's somebody from UK. Hi there to the UK. All right, I'm not sure if I see all the comments on time, but if you have any questions, you can put them now. I'm just going to answer to a few comments that I see in the message below. Gibby said that it's really important to drive home from a LARP and say, yep, that was a great thing. So delegating is definitely a good tip. Yeah, that's what I had last year. I had a bit of a LARP out. I was completely just bummed out. Usually the Conquest of Mythodea, which is, as I said, one of the biggest LARPs in the world with about almost 10,000 people, is like my main event and something I'm looking forward so much. It's my highlight of the year. But last year, even though it was definitely a cool LARP, it was nobody's fault but mine, is I just did too much. Basically, I did too much out time organization and I was in my head all the time in that kind of a field. So when I went home, I didn't do much of actual role playing and I just didn't have much fun. And that is so sad because you're working towards something that is super cool and that deserves a lot of work. And then you're driving home and you're like, that wasn't really fun. All right. Alyssa says, I find that I like to work as a partner when it comes to leadership. I can't really follow someone so much, but being a partner, yeah. See, that's something I thought of myself for a long time. I think that's what you're referring to. I saw myself as a support more than a leader for a very long time. I didn't think that myself would have the qualities of a leader. And as a matter of fact, I think oftentimes people who like to do things, who are really like doers and makers, are definitely good support characters as well. You don't actually have to be a leader to have much fun. In fact, oftentimes it's nicer to be a support character and to not be the main person who has a responsibility. So, I definitely recommend it as a start if you want to get into leadership and if you kind of want to have a taste of what it is and feels like to support somebody that you think is a good leader. I definitely had very good people in my clan I find that I could look up to and follow in their ways of leading. Very charismatic people that can inspire people. So I definitely learned from them as a support character. So if you're, and then you can decide whether you like to actually lead or stay in that support role, because sometimes that is actually nicer. Oh yeah, somebody told me that I definitely need to greet them. Flipsy, this is for you. You told me that I needed to say hello to you, and here is your hello. All right. Yeah, Karl Knotenkopf says he usually calls people's names. He insults people, and that works too. Yeah, by the way, there's a whole country in Mythodea, which I'm not going to name, but you guys know what I mean, that their kind of leadership is based on fear. And it works perfectly, just saying. Like in my community, in my camp, there's a lot of diplomatic kind of leadership. There's a lot of eyesight, but it definitely works if you call people names or if you are just reigning over them with fear. But you need to still have people that are loyal to you, because only screaming doesn't work. They need to respect you and really actually trust you that you're going to kill them or whatever it is that you're threatening them with. All right, guys. It has been 25 minutes and it has been a blast. Thank you guys all for joining me today. And maybe I'm going to do another live stream next Thursday. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear all your comments later on. So definitely, if you have any questions, comment below. I will answer later. And see, now I totally didn't prepare for the end. Oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know if you guys remember my problem with plants. Good luck. So, and one last thing. What's up with this actual living plant? Well, that's a story for a different day.